It occurred to me today as I was looking at the jerk list, I was thinking speaking of jerk number one, this guy at Virginia Tech. Oh, sweet Jesus. Now, any similarities that you see between this guy's behavior and my firing the Han Solo Edition blaster at these people is purely coincidental, and he gives the work I do a bad name. Understand, this is not a real gun. This is the Han Solo Edition blaster. All it really does is gives you a little sting on the backside of your soul. You understand? Let you know. It's sort of like a voodoo doll. A pox has been put on you. So, in advance, I wish to say, if any similarities emerge in your mind, like I say, pure coincidence. Anyway, so right out of the gate, there's your jerk. But with that said, all right, let's let the real jerk list begin.
Jerks! Shame! Jerks!
The jerk list.
I see all.
There's too many jerks.
That's what I love about
Jerk!
the jerk list.
A severe penalty for being a jerk.
You're a jerk!
The jerk list.
Jerks! Jerks! What an outrage. Shame! You're a jerk!
The jerk list.
There's too many jerks.
The jerk list.
Judge rules. Jerk!
So it begins another week. Right out of the gate here. Tell you the first jerk on the list. The NHL. Why? Because they scheduled Stanley Cup playoff games during this show. Hey, NHL, I've been a supporter even through the lean years. When the rest of North America didn't give a good crap about what you were doing, who was still tuning in on TV or whatever station you wind up on? Who tuned in? Dave Dameshek, that's who. How do you repay me? I get a big-time sports radio show, a dream come true. What do you do to me? You schedule the games right in the middle of the show. Couldn't do them at 10:30 at night or something like that, so I could tune in. Noon, I'd have been free then, too. Matter of fact, I'm only busy 3 hours a day. What 3 hours do you choose to play the games? Right in the middle of my show. Unbelievable. For that, NHL, you're a jerk! Yeah, feel that, NHL. All right, next on the list. The Madden video game. Any of you people who enjoy the video games know what this game's all about. It's a good football game, good football video game. Apparently, by far and away, so good that all other competitors stopped even making football games. I don't know if Madden, with his clout, signed a deal with the NFL so that no one else could manufacture games involving NFL players or what happened there, but it was so far above, head and shoulders above the rest of the football video games that no one even makes them anymore. But here's the problem. There's a little something called the Madden curse. Maybe you're familiar with this. Let me count the ways. Back in 2002, roughly is where it begins. Dante Culpepper of the Vikings, off to a real nice career, playing great, Chris Carter and Randy Moss and so on and so forth. A touchdown machine that team was. So he gets on the cover of the 2002 Madden game. The team goes 4-7. He hurts his knee and is out for the remainder of the season after the terrible beginning. That's the beginning. 2003, Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk, he of 5 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons as he enters the season. He finds himself on the cover of the 2003 Madden game. Season starts, he hurts his ankle. He never rushes for 1,000 yards again. Now he's retired. 2004, Michael Vick, coming off of a great season. The day after the game comes out, day after it's released, he breaks his leg. The Falcons go 5-11. This is amazing, isn't it? 2005. I'm not sad about this, but the Ravens, Ray Lewis, he struggles with injuries, and the Ravens don't make the playoffs. Well, that's good news. 2006, though. Donovan McNabb, the Philadelphia Eagles QB. They go to the NFC title game at the very least each and every season for, 15, 20 years in a row? Until he finds himself on the cover of 2006's Madden game. He gets himself a hernia early in the season. They're lousy all year long. You remember he gets hurt late in the latter stages of the season and goes in for surgery and doesn't finish the season off. They come in last place in the NFC East. Then last year, the Seahawks' Sean Alexander, he breaks the touchdown record the prior season, has a great season and takes the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. He breaks his foot. And the Seahawks don't have a great year. They never really hit full stride. So who wants to be on the cover of this video game? Hold your breath, Pittsburgh, because they have announced who's going to be on the cover of this year's game. 2008 Madden. All right, let the breath out. It's not a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's the Titans QB, Vince Young. But what a terrible thing. Can you imagine? You'd almost think Big Ben Roethlisberger was on the cover last year with all the stuff that happened to him, but with this curse. Matter of fact, good thing he wasn't on the cover because he may not be with us anymore. It might have been the difference between him surviving. But anyway, what kind of video game is this? Stop making it. You're hurting people. Don't you see? There's something metaphysical at work. It's bigger than you, Madden. Well, I don't know if anything's bigger than you, Madden. But don't you understand? You're hurting human beings, NFL players. Best video in the world? Maybe. A curse to NFL players sure seems likely, but here's one thing that's absolutely definite. You're a jerk! All right. Brian Murray, Ottawa Senators coach, played this for you a little while ago. He's not angry about Colby Armstrong's hit on Patty Eves, that big hit in Game 3 that put Patty Eves out for at least tonight, and we'll see if he comes back for future games. But take a listen to the Sens coach Brian Murray on that Colby Armstrong hit.
I do think it's an issue that the league has to address. I know that guys don't try to bury people in that fashion. I think you try to knock people down. I don't think Colby Armstrong tried to hit Patty Eves and knock him out in the game. He wanted to get a big hit on him, though. And I do think that something has to be done about guys that get hit in the head, whether it be our player doing the hitting or otherwise. And I'm sure the league, after this year and after the attention that has been given to it, will address the issue. All right. So you get the point there. I mean, he has some larger things that he's thinking about, but the point is he doesn't think Colby Armstrong was dirty. Then Mike Comrie of the Sens, he's an Edmonton native. Of course, in Mellon Arena before Game 3, some fans booed the Canadian National Anthem. So they asked Mike Comrie, are you upset about the fans booing? Were you offended and everything? Nope. He said, I'm not upset. They were probably just into the game. That's fine. I didn't take it personally. I wasn't offended by that. Listen, don't you guys know that you've been cast in the role of villain for us? Act like it. Darth Vader's hated because he does despicable things. He strangles people. You see? Hannibal Lecter ate people. That's why he was disliked. Do things to be disliked. Don't give us a pass on things that you should be angry about. Brian Murray, speak out against Colby Armstrong. Don't you understand your role? We're the heroes. You're the villains. You have to cry and complain about these things. In other words, you need to be a jerk. But because you're not being a jerk, in this case, you're a jerk. Did you follow that? I think it makes sense in the long run. All right, now I mentioned them, so I should take them down. Sorry, Pittsburghers. I know you were caught up in the moment, whoever among you booed it, but the Canadian National Anthem is maybe the best national anthem there is. So anybody who boos the Canadian National Anthem, it's glorious. It's a great song. And, by the way, it's the homeland and the song that represents the land of a man named Mario Lemieux and another one named Sid Crosby. So when you boo the national anthem, perhaps in a way you're booing them. So anybody who did, you're a jerk. My heart wasn't in that one. I don't want to boo the people. I don't want to poo-poo the people that go to the igloo. But anyway, all right, as I do each week, I like to bring a little sugar and mix it in there with the vinegar. I give out something called the Get Out of Jerk free card. The Get Out of Jerk free card, so valuable, of course, because sort of like in Monopoly, the Get Out of Jail free card, any future jerky behavior you engage in, all right, so be it. If you have one of these cards, you play it, you're back to square, you see? It's nice to have, very valuable. All right. Speaking of booing, the people who booed Barry the Creep Bonds of PNC on Friday night, fine. He's going to set the record, so be it.
but you showered him with booze, and I loved it. By the way, you should feel good about yourself because you're joined by baseball royalty Hank Aaron in your disdain for Bonds. Sure, he's going to break the most hallowed record in sports, but your boos help remind Bonds that no matter how significant his professional accomplishments, a jerk always walks alone. So good for you, people who boo him. And even out in L.A., they booed Barry Bonds on when his name was mentioned the other day. Hank Aaron was a honored guest, and just the mention of Hank Aaron's name led people to chant against Barry Bonds. Oh, I think we got that, do we?
And with him, the slugger who in 1974 became baseball's all-time home run king, Henry Aaron.
Wait on it. Well, I think we can all agree. I don't even think Bonds' kids probably like him. He's such a creep. Anyway, by the way, he is such a creep. People have asked, why have in the first couple of weeks, why is he not on the jerk list if you dislike him so much? Well, as a matter of fact, I have such disdain for the man that long ago, I've been doing the jerk list now for more than a year. If you wind up on it 3 times, 3 strikes and you're out, or should I say in this case, in the Jerk Hall of Shame, Barry Bonds, the initial member, the first ever member of the Jerk Hall of Shame. And by the way, once you go in, you're in all day. You don't ever come out. So Barry the Creep Bonds, he's the first ever member of the Jerk Hall of Shame. And that's where he shall rot for all of eternity. That's where his soul shall be. All right. Let's move back to the ugliness. The jerks. All right. One more, and then we'll get to the creep of the week. Joey Crawford, the NBA official. You hear about this dope? Officiating a game last Sunday between the Spurs and the Mavs, and potentially big game for the Spurs. They have a chance to sneak up into the second spot in the Western Conference before these playoffs get going there. Unlikely, but still there was a chance of it. He gets into it with Tim Duncan of the Spurs. I guess Duncan says something, untoward. He uses a curse word. And this old, bald little white man says, "You want to fight? You want to fight?" Tries to fight Tim Duncan. Well, now he's been suspended for the rest of the season. He won't be back for the playoffs or anything else. All right, listen, I understand. You're probably upset. You resent these guys. They're 30 years younger than you. They're probably at least 300 times wealthier than you. They're obviously vastly more talented than you. Here, let's put a little cherry on top of it and have Tim Duncan beat the hell out of me. Joey Crawford, keep your yap shut. Guess what? You've got a lot of time to think about it. And now, in your free time, hopefully you'll heal up from this. You're a jerk! All right, that leads us to the creep of the week. Creep, creep, creep of the week, of the week. He or she is the creep of the week. By the way, a little side note. You know who's a jerk as well? Is the delay that we have in this radio situation here. I noticed, I listened to the jerk list, and you can check out the past jerk list if you wish to, and some other clips from the show, 937thezone.com, and go to our webpage on that site there. I listened to it, and because, yes, I'm that vain, I went back and listened to myself, and I noticed that we're on about a quarter-second delay, so it sounds like I can't keep a beat. Creep, creep, creep. I can't keep the beat. I sound like a doofus. So for that delay is a jerk. Now, creep of the week. The Bachelor. You've been watching the latest edition. My wife makes me watch it every week. I get home on Monday nights, and we sit down, and this show is on. And by the way, I've said it before. I'll say it again. You would think that this thing of one guy and 25 broads that are supposedly good-looking, recipe for greatness. But in fact, it's the gayest show on TV, thanks to its namby-pamby hosts And the fact that in this particular edition, the girls aren't all that foxy, and the guy is a loser. They call it an officer and a gentleman this year because he's in the military and he's a doctor. But I think he's a sweet fella himself. That's my hunch. Anyway, last night, this Bachelor, this guy, he took the show, and it's a ridiculous show if you've ever seen it on any of the seasons. It's always been ridiculous. He took it to a new low when he did this. Take a listen, as he had to cut one of two girls.
But Tessa, if you will accept this rose.
One girl gets it.
I'm going to take you to the helicopter.
Your ears do not deceive.
Pain away here. I'll be right back.
All right, cut it off there, Papa. I can't hear another moment of that. You heard right. He cried. The Bachelor cried because he had to cut some girl who he's known for 3 days. He had to let her go. He couldn't give her a rose. He cried. This isn't just some average man. This is a man in our military. All right, just in the Navy, but still. This is a black eye for our nation. Our military is crying on TV about girls. Benny Laden and the rest of the terrible towels are laughing at us. They think we're weak. Shape up, man. An officer and a gentleman, I don't know about that, but one thing's for sure, here's a new rank for you. You're the creep of the week. That's it.